Hello everyone, welcome! Today we're going to do 5 quick tips for druids. Now remember, this video is aimed for the less experienced, but maybe even if you're a veteran in D&D or Baldur's Gate, maybe you'll find something useful here. So let's do it. Tip number 1, about some druid cantrips. When you start the game, you can only choose 2 cantrips with druids. I would always recommend that you pick Thorn Whip. Thorn Whip is so strong because you can attack people from afar, so that's 9 meters, but that's not considered a range attack, it is a melee attack. That means you can do it even if you have someone in melee with you and you won't have disadvantage. And you do some damage and you pull creatures to you. That's very unique and currently only druids have access without getting feats to this cantrip. So yeah, you can pick whatever you want here. So if you want to be more ranged, you pick Produce Flame. If you want to be more melee, you pick Shilag. Or if you want to if you want some, like, I don't know, usefulness, you pick Guidance. But Thorn Whip, you should always have it. Tip number 2. As a druid, you can wild shape. Even if you're not the moon druid, you could be a land druid and you can wild shape. And while in animal form, you can actually speak to animals.
Be gone. I am hungry.
So, things like that makes the game, to me. Sometimes you're not getting a lot.
What are you under there then? Ant? Or rocks?
What are you talking about, right?
The keepers of this place. They change their form to fit their need. They become birds to hunt on the wing. Bears to tear flesh with teeth. But for me, only oxen, only same old hay.
Look at the derp face.
And I cannot even eat it, because the horned ones hide their shiny bits inside.
The shiny bits inside.
Hiding things. Thinking they're clever. Not clever. Sometimes I eat the shiny bits, and they have to go looking for them on the other end.
Yeah. So Larian, actually think their dialogues with animals are incredible. And I always feel like missing if I'm playing with a class that can't speak to animals. So as a druid, you can just wild shape and speak to animals. And the problem is you're not going to be able to speak to NPCs like Toron here.
You are unable.
See? But you could, there's a workaway around that. So, if you want to speak to animals and still speak to NPCs, you could cast the spell Speak with Animals that druids have access. And now you can freely speak to animals and NPCs. So yeah.
Be gone. I am hungry.
Be what may, speak to animals. That's my advice. Now, the tip number 3 is also about speaking to animals and speaking to NPCs. Although you can't speak to NPCs in animal form, let's say you have a party member and they really want to speak to you. You know that one exclamation point arrives. They really want to speak to you. They're like, "Oh damn, I'm animal form. I can't do it." No, you actually can.
Speak.
The druid will just change back to druid form so you can speak to an NPC, and then you change back to animal form. So it's a little bit strange, a little bit
May the
wonky.
darkness protect you.
I hope they fix that. I hope they change, even though I know that's for quality of life, but I don't like it. You know, if we can do that, just let us do that with our animals, or don't let us do that. Well, that's a little bit of a tip number 3 there. Now, while playing as a druid, you want to wild shape, because that's the fun of the class, at least to me. And even if you're not playing as the moon druid, who focus on wild shaping a lot, you still have access to some forms. They're useful. You can get to places with badger or spider, right? You can like climb walls, throw webs, you can go around with the cat, but the wolf is good for combat. Even though it has not enough life to be like really a threat, 18 health, you could start as a wolf, even play a land druid. You could start the fight as a wolf and try to deliver your exposing bite. So what the exposing bite does, it makes so that if you hit, the next attack against the creature will be a critical hit if it is done in melee. So I hit him, that's nice. Now it lasts for 1 turn, right? So we need to go there and hit him now. Let me see if I can get there with laser. Can't because the wolf is fat. But oh yeah, we can because we can actually action surge. So I will dash here.
Make way.
Yes, make way, laser. Now action surge. And let's choose something, you know, pushing attack. That does a little bit of extra damage. See? That's automatic critical hit. And since I chose a very strong attack, it's a lot of damage because there's the great sword, the flaming, the dice from the pushing attack, everything is critical. Everything doubles, so lots of damage. It's like you can count on it. You could theoretically guys like inflict wounds, critical. So lots of stuff to do. I really like exposing bite here. And it will recharge every short rest. Yep. Tip number 5. As you progress the game, sometimes you will hit some gaps of Druid. I'm talking about Moon Druid now, because as a land Druid, you always have your spells, and you have even more spells because you have like an arcane recovered, right? And you have spells that Druids can choose. I will put a guide here on the description so you can see which what's the best land Druid. But the thing is, with Moon Druid, you attempt to be using your wild shape a lot, but you are a full caster, so you need to take advantage of that. Every time you're going to do a hard fight, you should consider using your best spells. So Spike Growth is very good if you are in an area where you can catch lots of people together, but I think the Druid's bread and butter spell, at least in early access, is Moonbeam, because you can cast and you hit multiple people.
You were witnessed assaulting someone.
Such attack. So the thing about Moonbeam is a concentration spell. Yeah, and you can move it, so you can move your Moonbeam with the action, but you're not just moving it. Whenever you move your Moonbeam, you deal the damage again. You shouldn't. It should just be on the enemy's starting phase, on enemy's turn on D&D. But here you do automatically, and it's like an arrow spell. So yeah, you should abuse Moonbeam. And well, after you've done that, if you're a Moon Druid, you can still become a bear, right? The Moon Druid, my Moon Druid right now has 16 Constitution. So if I become a bear, it has a bonus action for Moon Druids. Where's my bear? Where's my bear at? Oh, here. Now 16 Constitution, so we have the same chance of maintaining concentration. That's more hit points. I can use it as a shield. Now, even though I could be tempted of attacking with the bear, I think you better just moving your Moonbeam, because you can't keep moving your Moonbeam while in wild shape form. And that was it, guys. Thank you very much for watching the video, and please consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel. It will really help us. And see ya.